Hey y'all, well this video is going to be on the expansion of the deer shed. So as y'all have seen in previous videos, this had two concrete pads when I moved here. They had little galvanized metal buildings on them. And in 2006, I believe, I built this shed on there, which has my walk-in coolers. This is where we work up all of our deer. Everything for deer is done in here. I don't have nowhere to put my trapping stuff. Like I said, this building is 10 deep, 20 long. So I never really was crazy about the tin roof that's on it. My house has got a black roof. So project for this summer is expanding this shed. So gonna come out 14 feet, 20-foot pad length. That'll make this building a total of 40 feet long. And then there'll be a lean-to on this end. So I had to bring in 7 dump trucks on the old green truck, dump truck loads of packed dirt and pack it down real good and tamp it down. We just put 2 ton of rock on it. That's a 1/2 inch rock. And I will be removing that side and getting a pattern for my rafters and getting my rafters built. I'm gonna carry this all the way out to where I have a tractor lean-to shed on this side. So when I order the rafters, I want enough to get that done. But the point of this shed is I've got too much stuff in the deer shed, and some of it come out, like my milk cooler, like that I keep my marinating stuff in, my commercial dehydrators. All that stuff needs to come out of there and come into this room. And I've got a 6-foot freezer to put deer heads or whatever that's in my basement that can come out, and not counting this whole end of the shed with a loft is going to be for my trapping. And then I'll have plenty of room out here to boil skulls and do what I need to. So y'all hang on and watch as we take this ride. We'll be pouring the pad tomorrow at noon. Hey y'all, well, the pad is poured and cured it's been 3 days. Turned out pretty sweet. And you can see I got that line right there. That is actually how I first had power running this shed before I run power from the house, a sub panel up here. And there's still actually a 110 line in that, but I'll spin around here and show you. We ain't got the forms knocked off, but this actually completes phase 1. Phase 1 was getting rid of that tree and that tree. I still have to saw the stumps because I didn't want them hanging over the shed and possibly falling through it if anything ever happened. Both of them, one's a silver maple, one's a sugar maple. And you know how they are about breaking. But anyway, I wanted to get the pad out, so I'm gonna spin around here and point out exactly what's going on. So anyway, we'll go over the pad first. That pad is 14 by 20. 20 this way, 14 this way. And we just screeded it right up to the other line that was there, concrete line. I've not pulled that shed out or that side off or the rafter side off to get the measurements on the rafter yet. That's this week. Probably do that one day after work and get those built. I did bring the pad out 4 more foot from the original. And reason being, I started to go ahead and pour this all the way across, but we're actually gonna add an old porch on the front. So from here, there will be 4 beams come down. There'll be a 4-foot deck here that whoever wants to, there'll be some old rocking chairs or whatever, they can sit here while we're processing, while we're actually field dressing or gutting deer. Just there's usually a crowd out here when we kill an animal, and there's always people out here hanging out and checking things out at the old deer shed. So this will be a porch. Of course, there'll be a wall here. It'll go into that line, which will be a 2x4 wall, pretty much rides right to the other side of that. Then I'll have my offset beam right here going all the way down. And the reason I'm setting it like that is because this wall is going to come up right into that eave. So this front wall would actually have a slight pitch to it. So I'll show you as we go how I'm going to have to do it to make it look right, and of course carry it on out to somewhere right in here. And this part that'll be open will actually be for weed eaters. I'll be able to hang my weed eaters and stuff, boil my skulls. The lawnmowers and the tractor can go in here when I do have it, to keep it in the dry. Well, it's going to end up being a pretty big endeavor, but it's going to be well worth it. I need the room to put my trapping stuff, my climbers, my climbing sticks. I need to be able to put coolers that are just, and freezers that are just for deer heads and just for coats and all that. I'll be able to do my trapping and skinning in this shed. I'm going to be able to do some storage. I actually have a ton of stuff in my carport that has to come up here. I've got a new 3-bay sink going in here. I'll be adding a 110 water heater, or maybe even a 220 water heater in the new shed. I'll be putting heat and air on this shed, so I won't have to worry about the water lines, because that's something I always seem to fight here. No matter what I put on these lines, always has a bust every time it gets in the teens somewhere. It's just, didn't insulate this building. I will not make the mistakes on this building that I made on this building. And matter of fact, this building, all the sheets on the inside are coming off. It's getting re-insulated, or it's getting insulated, and it's getting the top blown too. So it'll be easier to control the heat and stuff. I won't have so many cold walls. But anyway, that's phase 1. Phase 2 will be getting the side off rafters and probably getting it in the dry and doing the stick build of the shed. So y'all stay tuned, and we'll see how this thing goes. I appreciate y'all. Well, been a change of plans. So I thought I was done with phase 1. Kind of am. I wanted to get to the lumber part first, but there's been a couple of changes. So as you can see, I have most of the siding pulled off the outside of the building. All the wood, everything's good. But years ago, I didn't have the money to buy new rafters. This was, somebody had these laying in the field, made me a good deal on them. And we brought them out here and set them down with the tractor and started putting them up here. Well, all the rafters that was up high was good all the way across till we got to the last 3. The last 3 were pretty rough. Some of the waffle plates had to be pulled out. I had to cut boards and put in. And as I can tell, they've deteriorated a little bit in certain spots over the years. So it only makes sense if I'm putting new rafters on this part all the way out, I might as well put rafters on that. So I'll be pulling every one of these off after I get this stick built, and putting brand new rafters on all the way across, new insulation, pulling new wires and everything. So the changes I was talking about before we go to phase 2 video, as y'all have seen in a lot of the videos that follow Piney Life, we field dress our deer here. The reason we do it, we don't do it in the field. I know people says it don't bother me, and you're right. I've killed them on public land and had deer go right up to the gut pile. But with as many people as we hunt to keep the trouble down, we bring them here, winch them up here, field dress them, and take all of the waste, the guts, whatever, politically correct field dressing matter, take it to a certain spot. And at that certain spot, I trap after season, deer season, and I get coyotes off of it. But we pull them all up on this winch right here. Well, if it's raining or snowing, we're right here under this. This shed is where I started my first processing. That old shed has had a lot of water on the floor and different things. The floor's about rotted out of it. I would literally have to tear this shed down and completely start over, and it's not worth it with me adding on what I'm doing. So in one of the phases down the road in this video series, this shed will be coming down, and Kim's she shed, that one, will be going long ways right here. So since I got you caught up to speed on that, you know these rafters are coming off, but I'm going to leave this room, this end to dry, because once I get this stick built and start putting my rafters on, I have to tear this off and take the entire ceiling out and lay it on the floor to get these rafters off to put in the new rafters. So still doing a 14 by 20. I won't have to do that crazy offset angle that I was gonna have to build a header for. Now I will be able to get 16-foot wide rafters and be able to set them off a foot on each side, have plenty of eave, and plus I'll still be able to build the porch on the front of this shed. So the pad is looking good. The guy's supposed to come and score it today. He hasn't showed up at 6:30. I kind of hope he shows up today because I need to be building this thing this week. Now, what I was saying back there about the winch and the field dress and the deer, this part we done got our stakes in. As you can see, there's a stake there and a stake over here. This will be 20 foot here. Now, with this being done this way and this shed behind you, the she shed being moved, we'll be able to come right up the driveway on the side by side or truck, back right in there, field dress the deer, have the tubs under cover, have plenty of lighting. We'll be able to boil our skulls and everything out here that we need to do without doing it in the deer shed or doing it out here in the open if there's wind. And plus, during the summer when I'm not using it that much, we'll be able to put the mowers, we'll be able to put the push mower, and of course be able to put the old dump truck, nose the cab up in there, and maybe even get the carport situated for it. But this is going to totally change everything. This pad now, this whole building is actually going to be at its widest point 14 feet by 60 feet long. 3 20-foot sections, 20, 40, 60. So pretty big change, but you learn as you go. So marked off, corner post will be in. Those will be 8x8s in each corner. Winch in there, lights. I have a 100 amp service run up here, so I'll be able to wire all this up the way I need to wire it. It'll only be for storage and processing deer, but it's going to be really cool for this trapping room / YouTube studio room, whatnot. It'll be nice to be able to use this. So this ends phase 1 video. Trees down, pads poured, everything's good, sides tore off, lumber's bought, it's under the tarp. I'll be adding another tarp. We're supposed to get a little bit of rain tonight. And y'all be looking for phase 2. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe and like. And as always, God bless. We'll see you on the next video. See ya.